The king is dead.
His territory.
Let's make it all.
And CBI the keys.
Every time I try working with a Flynn, I end up dodging bullets.
CBI is stronger together.
We coming for the north side.
You're a pirate. You don't understand boundaries.
With the king of the Flynns now dead, the battle over territory begins. The north side, which was occupied by Walter Flynn, but now in the hands of Vic, is up for grabs. But Tommy and Diamond aren't the only ones who have eyes on that territory, so does Mirkovic. However, let's not forget arguably one of the most important takeaways from the closing moments of episode 5. Vic is now working with law enforcement, which will completely change the game. He's going to try and form an alliance with the CBI and gain Tommy's trust. And I do know one way in which he can do that, but is the clock now ticking for Vic Flynn? We all know what happens to snitches in the world of power. Trust and alliances also spreads across to Tommy and Jenard. Will Tommy accept Jenard back over to the CBI? So there are going to be some big changes coming in Chicago, with another being Shanti, showstopper Page. But Walter's death really has opened up a huge can of worms in Power Book 4 Force Season 2. Now the title for episode 6 is Here There Be Monsters, and the synopsis reads, Tommy and Diamond expand their coalition by bringing in Vic and Jenard into the CBI. Mirkovic warns Tommy against encroaching on Serb territory and makes good on his threat with catastrophic results. Now in short, the episode title Here There Be Monsters does hint that this will be another pivotal episode where characters will be confronted with making more tough decisions. They'll be confronted by dangerous and unpredicted elements in the streets. It also foreshadows how some will be navigating dangerous waters, where good and evil is often blurred, with the consequences being severe. Now, with the title and synopsis out the way, we've got Diamond and Tommy analyzing the map of Chicago, which is a familiar theme in Force.
Our situation with the Serbs has become challenging.
Is that over territory?
Everything in the city is.
As Miguel Garcia once said, everything in Chicago is about territory, which is why I've made constant reference to the map of Chicago and who controls what throughout Season 2. We hear Tommy telling Diamond, now that the king is dead, they can make their territory theirs. But let's have a deeper look at the split in territory and why Tommy and Diamond are entering dangerous water. The north side was controlled by Walter Flynn, but is now controlled by Vic. West Town, which is just below the north side, which is very important, is controlled by Mirkovic and the Serbian network. Little Village and Brighton Park is Miguel Garcia. Southside was Jenard, although this could merge back in with the CBI, who control Marquette. So now that we've outlined territory, here's where it gets slightly interesting. We know Vic is one to never let segregation or race get in the way of business, and in the past, he has worked with Tommy Egan. So it is normal for him to reach out to Tommy and the CBI to try and work together once again. His father would never have allowed it to happen under his watch, but with him now being dead, Vic can run the Flynn Empire the way he wants, except he doesn't. Vic doesn't even want to be in the game anymore because he made a promise to Gloria, and we all know he's now working with law enforcement.
You're gonna have to infiltrate CBI and give us everything. Especially Tommy Egan.
I'll do it. I'll help you take him down.
Stacey Marks doesn't just want Claudia Flynn, she wants the CBI, she wants Miguel Garcia, and she wants Mirkovic. In essence, she also wants the entire map of Chicago, but for different reasons. So this is why Vic is here offering the keys to his territory. He's going to be working as an inside mole for Stacey. Now Tommy is right in what he says next. Every time he works with the Flynn, he ends up dodging bullets, and that's because the Flynns just can't be trusted. They're always looking out for their own selfish interest, and they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Now we are going to go back to the map of Chicago in just a moment, but Vic will have to convince Tommy to join forces, which would give him access to the north side. So how will he convince Tommy?
I need you to tell me who killed Liliana.
What makes you think I know?
Vic, I know it was somebody in the Flynn organization.
Before you could understand why Vic wouldn't give up Claudia as a shooter of Liliana, but after her move to kill her brother in episode 5, Vic will be thinking, two can play at that game, so game on. I think this is the moment where Tommy will get his confirmation Claudia was the one who killed Liliana, and you can be damn sure Tommy will try and make her suffer. However, even though I do believe Claudia does have to pay for what she's done, and eventually I do think she will, in the short term I do think she will find a way to gain that power and protection. She's a ruthless and manipulative queen, a devil in a red dress, who has very similar traits to her father, but she isn't blinded by stubbornness, segregation, or tradition. And so this is why I do think she will bounce back, but eventually she will have to suffer the consequences. And the same could also be said about Vic. He's turned into a rat for Stacey Marks, so let's see what happens, because the fate of these two characters really does hang in the balance for Season 2. Now the battle for the north side is going to be huge. Who's going to end up being king of the north? we hear Tommy telling Mirkovic that they're coming for the north side, but Mirkovic's response is he doesn't understand boundaries, and that's because even though the rules are different in Chicago, Tommy plays by his own. He always has and he always will. Nothing will change. But the reason why I think Mirkovic won't like Tommy moving into the north side is because north is directly above West Town, which is the territory that is occupied by the Serbs. Right now the CBI and the Serbs are separated by Miguel Garcia, but if Tommy and the CBI stroll into the north side, then they're gonna have to at some point go through West Town, and no doubt, step on each other's toes. We've all seen the beef between Mirkovic and Miguel Garcia earlier in the season, so if Tommy waltzes into the north side and starts to move his product in addition to the pills that the Flynns move, it will hurt Mirkovic. So these boundaries are very important in Chicago and will set us up for the upcoming war, which will be the battle for the north side. Claudia once told Mirkovic Jenard and Diamond were back working together and they were stronger than ever, which was a lie at the time, but it's now coming actually to fruition. Now here's where it starts to get a little more complex around territory. Jenard promised Mirkovic the Crimson projects, which did fall into Diamond's share during their split. Jay promised him over and over again in season 2 he'd get him that territory, but in the meantime he was paying him a tax. But now that the brothers are back together, which was a wild guess from Claudia, we are going to see the Serbs making a move on the Crimson projects. Now why they're making a move could be one of two reasons. Either Tommy has moved into the north side, or Mirkovic has confirmed Claudia's intel to be correct about how Diamond and Jenard are back working together, which means he doesn't get his territory he was promised. So we are going to see a hell of a lot of action in and around the Crimson projects, but I expect Tommy to strike back. Now at the start of this season, CBI was split into two. There was Treason and the CBI, but the lack of leadership and Jenard's downward spiral did lead some of his soldiers to move over to the RDs, who are led by King Kilo. But Diamond and Tommy were making moves to end this bloodshed with King Kilo, which we all know is bad for business. It's also one of many reasons why he wants to bring Jenard back on board with the CBI, but a huge factor was his father's dying declaration. So Diamond wants to look after his brother by bringing him back over to the CBI. So we've got Jenard back in the barbershop face to face with Tommy. Jenard has his hand out ready to put aside their differences and work together, but Tommy will be very wary of Jenard. He's tried to kill him before, so I do think Jenard will have to try and earn Tommy's respect back. Let's not forget, he also strolled into the Crimson projects and stole 2 bricks from Manny, along with her chain, which was given to her by her father. So I think Jenard can start there, make it up to the CBI for stealing those 2 bricks and getting Manny's chain back, but I think he is on the right path, which is why I always felt there was a redemption story for Jenard. The clues are always there from the official trailer, and I think he will surprise Tommy at some point with his contribution towards the second half of the season. However, where does that leave Shanti?
This is a long mother. I'm betting on you. You win, I win.
I really do feel this is going to be another problem for Jenard and the CBI. Shanti gave him a loan and she was betting on him to win, not the CBI. So just because Jenard is moving back over to the CBI, it doesn't mean the rest of Treason will, because there is a lot of bad blood between them over Chewie and Little K. Shanti is a winner by nature. Her boxing career gives us a hint. She's someone who's a fighter, someone who doesn't give up, and someone who's not afraid to throw it down and fight to survive. So will she move over to the CBI with Jenard? I don't think she will. I think she's gonna see this as an opportunity to build her own legacy, and maybe take over Treason or start building her own empire. How she does that, I'm not too sure, but she did say she's not fucking with the CBI because of Tommy, so I don't see her changing her mind anytime soon. I also feel a huge factor in her decision making will be the fact Jenard is a drug addict, and so I can see her cutting all ties with them, going their separate ways. So with alliance and territory set to change, Shanti is going to be a big problem in my opinion. But that's a breakdown of episode 6's trailer, so drop all your thoughts down below and let me know what you make of this battle for territory, and who you think is going to end up becoming King of the North, and will Vic survive season 2? I think one thing we all know Tommy hates more than anything is a snitch, so will you have suspicions that Vic is working with law enforcement? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.